When I was about 8 or 9 years old, my friend and I were living in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we were walking home, and it was probably 9 o'clock ish at night, and there were some kids, they were a few years older than us, that decided to start messing with us in the middle of the night, and they started beating us up, and my friend went down pretty quick, and I decided that I wasn't just going to sit there and let it happen. So I decided to start trying to fight back, and there were 4 kids that were probably like 13, 14 years old at the time, and they started, I started fighting back as much as I could, and while I was swinging, I turned around because one of them started coming up behind me, and I turned around, and like next thing I know, it's just like everyone was stopped, and like no one was moving, and the older kids just scattered, and I looked down, and like my friend was sitting there was laying on the ground, and he was freaking out and staring at me, and I was like, what's going on? And he told me to look down, and I looked down, and there was a 3-inch pocket knife sticking out of my stomach. And like, it's crazy because when you get stabbed, it's just in the very beginning, it's just a pinch. You barely even feel it. You don't. So like, I didn't even notice it was there until I looked down. And then when you first look down, you saw it, like you see a knife sticking inside of you. It's like you just start denying it. You're like, no, this isn't happening. But it all starts coming back to you real quick, and so I noticed I tried to grab it and decided to try to pull it out, and as soon as I went to pull it out, the pain that rushed through my body was so immense that I just dropped. I passed out. Next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital, and I remember hearing the doctors say, talking about how they needed to pull the knife out. And I tried to tell them that it wasn't coming out, that I already tried, and I thought I was screaming, but apparently I was just mumbling, and they ended up pulling the knife out, and as soon as they ripped it out, I went right back to sleep. Next thing, I woke up afterward, and they told me that if the knife was a millimeter in any direction, that I would have died because it slipped right in between my right in between my intestines. And so it's a mind-boggling experience, and to find out that I was legally dead for, I think it was like 2.4 seconds until my heart started back up. It's a lot to go through. And going through that life experience makes you appreciate life that much more. Because everything that starts to happen feels like it finally starts to matter.